Good morning, friends. Welcome back to another episode of KidzTown Online.
We saw some of you in person here on the weekend, and it was so good to see your faces. We are pretty excited that things are starting to open up and look forward to when we can be here hanging out with you in person.
I wonder if we'll all be able to fit into the time machine.
You know what? We only have that for another couple weeks, and then it's off to a new home. So I guess we'll never know.
Well, what will we do after that?
Well, in a couple weeks, it's Palm Sunday, and then right after that is Easter, and we have something special planned for those 2 weeks.
All right, friends, we're going to drop off a little package for you at the end of the month so that you can have all the supplies to do the activities and participate in the video with us. And there might be a few treats in there for you too.
We're already working on putting this together for you. And we want you to think about who you know that might need to hear the Easter story and hear about what Jesus has done for them. Because we would love to give you an extra kit to take to them so that they can participate in this with us too. Look in the resources, and the notes will put all the information about how you can go about getting some for your friends too.
Search the world, but it couldn't fill me. Man's empty praise, treasures that fade are never enough. Then you came along and put me back together. Desire is now satisfied here in your love. Hey! Oh, there's nothing better than you. There's nothing better than you, Lord. There's nothing is better than you. Oh,
Are you ready for today's adventure?
I am. I'm always ready to hear from God and learn about Him.
That's a great attitude. I wonder what we will learn about today.
Let's go find out. 1, 2, 3. I recognize that guy.
Oh, yeah, he's a little bit older than last time we saw him when he was a shepherd with sheep, but that's totally David.
Yeah, and I wonder who his friend is with him.
Well, they're just kind of hanging out. We're not really doing anything that we could figure out what a Bible story is from what we're doing.
And his clothes are pretty fancy. Maybe he's an important guy.
Oh, I wonder if that's Jonathan. Because they look like they're friends. Mm-hmm. And we know that David and Jonathan were really good friends.
Yeah, that's true. And we know that Jonathan is King Saul's son. So that would explain why he's wearing fancy clothes.
Do you know what? That also explains why their friendship was one of the best examples of friendship in the Bible. See, God's Spirit was on David, and he was blessing David in so many ways, including giving him success in the army and favor with all the leaders.
Mm-hmm. And David knew that God was going to make him king because Samuel, who was God's prophet, anointed him.
Yeah. And Jonathan, he was the king's son, so the throne should have been his next.
But their friendship was stronger than their desire to be king. David knew that God would fulfill his plan when and how he wanted, and that he didn't need to fight with Jonathan in pursuing kingship. And Jonathan valued his friendship with David even more than he valued being king.
Yeah. This is pretty cool. There's a lot of stories about Jonathan and about David in the books of 1 Samuel, 2 Samuel, 1 Kings, 2 Kings. But we don't often get an off-the-page look at them like this, just hanging out and being friends. I think if I could freeze time and just stay in one place forever, I'd pick right here, sitting here listening to Jesus talk.
Yep. It's pretty awesome. He's talking about how he's the vine and how we are the branches, and if we abide in him, that means stay close and connected with him, then we will bear fruit or qualities that show that we love him.
Yeah. Oh, and now he's mentioning friends. Love one another as I have loved you, and greater love has no one than this, that he would lay down his life for his friends.
And that's what he did for us. Now he says, these things I command you so that you will love one another.
Okay, wait a minute. Don't you think it's kind of funny that he would command us to do that? Like, isn't that just common sense? That we want to be friends with people and we want people to be friends with us. So why would he have to command us to do that?
Yeah, I think you're right that we all want to be a good friend, but our sinful nature means that we often are selfish, and so we don't treat people the way that we should.
I guess it would be kind of like how our parents have to command us to teach us to be kind and to be good friends and how to brush our teeth and how to eat our vegetables, because we don't always just know how to do those good and right things right off the bat.
Right. And if we're commanded to do it, that doesn't mean that it's going to be a chore, but it might be kind of hard to do, but it just means that it's worth doing. And even when it's hard, it means that we need to do it anyways. So we got to see David and Jonathan, who are one of the best examples of friends in the Bible. And then we got to hear Jesus talking about friendship. So I think that we should be working on our friendship this week.
That sounds like a great idea. Now, did you catch, though, what Jesus said about laying down your life for your friend? He said there's no greater love than that. Now, you and I are most likely not ever going to be asked to actually give our actual lives and die for someone. But Jesus did. He loved us so much. He wanted to be our friend so much that he was willing to die so that we could be friends.
Mm-hmm. So why don't we head over to some breakouts so that we can explore how we can be friends with Jesus and how he can help us be better friends to others.
So what do you usually hear when people tell you about how to spend time with Jesus? Reading your Bible and praying, right? Those are pretty common ones. And you know what? Those are awesome ideas. Hearing from God and talking to God, that's great.
That is great. But what does it look like when you're spending time with real, actual people friends? Usually the best of times is when you're just hanging out together, right?
All right. So our challenge for you today, it might sound a little bit strange, but this is our challenge for you to develop your friendship with Jesus. We want you to invite Jesus to hang out with you.
Yeah, you can go for a walk or shoot some hoops or maybe go to the playground, but just ask Jesus if he would hang out with you and see what happens.
Or you and your family can go for a drive, so you can all do this together, each one of you alone with Jesus. I think grown-ups do this a lot. They invite Jesus along on their drive time.
Yeah, or you could do a chore and ask Jesus to hang out with you while you do the dishes or clean your room.
That's a great one. So we challenge you to do this one today, okay? Invite Jesus to hang out with you and see how it goes. Now, let's talk about you being a good friend to your friends.
So we can brainstorm all kinds of ways to be a good friend, be faithful and honest with them, never gossip about them.
Being kind, not doing mean pranks to them, being generous,
Forgiving them, bringing out their best and not encouraging them to sin, being unselfish.
yeah. Okay, you know how I always tell you that God made you the way you are on purpose? You know what? God made your friends the way they are on purpose too. Finding someone who's going to be a really good friend doesn't always mean finding someone who's just like you.
Our challenge for you this week is to think of 3 friends and one way that you can do something this week to build each one of those friendships.
Right. So in your notes, we made a little worksheet, and there's a spot to write the names of 3 different friends. So underneath that, write out your idea of what you're going to do this week to build that friendship.
We just talked about a bunch of ideas what makes a good friend, and what are some ways that you can put that into practice? Is there anything you need to ask for forgiveness for? Can you take a gift or a card or a note to a friend? Can you invite someone to play at recess maybe?
We know that you all can be really good friends. And I hope that this little exercise will show you that it's worth putting some effort into building those relationships. I hope as you think this week about friends and being the good friend that Jesus commanded you to be, that you would find your relationship and your friendship with Jesus and with your friends grow stronger.
Let's follow Jesus' example and do all we can do to be good friends.
See you next week.